computer. I got a little light shining on me because I'm an angel.
You are. I tell you that all the time.
Hi, everybody. It's Linda, and here's Sterling.
Morning.
Morning. Top of the morning to you guys. Is it hot down in Southern California?
Not too bad. It's overcast today.
Okay.
So not too bad.
And it's been not bad. 80s is not bad for here. Because,
Yeah.
in Northern California, we can get pretty hot.
Absolutely. Yeah.
I just realized I put the wrong lipstick on. I don't like this red of a color, but it doesn't matter. You don't care. Okay, so we have a list of questions from everybody. And the first question is, any information regarding Gen Z children?
Those are children that are born 95 to 2010. So, roughly, these are adults right now. So the one thing that's very true about them is they want everything here and now, right away, which in some areas is not a good thing, but in all the social change that's going on now, is a good thing.
Right.
So for me, they're helping to drive a lot of change.
Okay.
So,
all right.
Yeah.
And this light is really, it's from the door. It's not because I'm an angel.
No.
Okay, so what are the courts going to do regarding Michael Flynn case? That's a good question.
That's a good one. I still believe he's going to go back to court and undergo a trial. So I think that, right now the federal courts, right, there was a higher federal court than a lower federal court trying to get it dismissed, but they're going to run out of runway, I think, before the year's out. And I believe that they're going to circle back around beginning of the year, and he'll undergo a trial, for the two. He pleaded guilty to 2 items, I remember.
Yeah, but Judge Sullivan was going to have another court look at it with more members.
Yeah. So I think it's going to go to trial eventually, yeah.
Okay, so then they won't get him on the 2 counts that he had already pleaded to. They'll get him on the stuff.
No, that's what I think is going to happen. I think they're going to resurrect the 2 guilty pleas that he had that were issued around the time of the Mueller report.
Okay.
And so.
And I saw him when those 2 people said, you need to drop this case, and he was on the media saying, this isn't just justice for me, but it's justice for the American people.
Yeah, nice try.
Like, it's okay to lie to the FBI, and you can get away with it, no problem. Okay, the Trump administration wants the Supreme Court to strike down ACA, Obamacare. How do you think they will rule?
It's going to stay in place. It's going to stay in place, and then I feel it's going to get enhanced next year. So they're not going to be able to kick it out the door this year. Again,
are they even going to look at it this year?
It looks like there will be some review of it, but they're not going to be able to come to any kind of a final conclusion. So it'll be around. They're not going to be able to get rid of it.
But I almost feel like a curling, like I even feel Robert's like, no, don't tell me they're pulling this again. And right in the middle of a pandemic, these people aren't stupid. They know this is a horrible time to talk trash like that.
Absolutely, yeah.
Will Trump leave his office before or by September?
I've always seen, and I still see, there's a lot of difficulty for him around the time of the Republican convention. So I think that's where there's going to be a lot of chaos in the Republican Party. And I almost feel like, I don't think he's going to leave the White House per se, but it wouldn't surprise me if he doesn't show up for the convention because he doesn't get, the kind of endorsements he needs, or there's limitations on the crowd size, which he's very sensitive to. But yeah, there's some trouble going on there around the time in August. But I don't see him leaving the White House in September.
And more stuff's going to hit the fans by August.
Oh, sure.
More stuff coming out.
Oh, sure.
Okay. What will become of the Voice of America radio show?
And that was, read that question again. What's the question?
The Voice of America that they cut.
I do, but what were they asking about?
Will it be revised? What will become of it?
Yeah, that's going to stay in place, I feel. I think that's something Trump's been going after because they've been disagreeing with him on COVID-19 reporting, but that's going to stay in place. He's not going to be able to get rid of it.
when I read on it, I saw once Biden gets in and Congress might defund it right now, so he has nothing to work with. And
Yeah.
then, and I see that it'll be back to normal.
Right, right.
Okay, will the dog meat trade in Korea be abolished?
Well, a real range of questions here, huh?
You don't look at him either, right?
Yeah, but by the way, this is almost like your world in 30 minutes. I think we should change the we should change the name. You know, I do see a lot of significant change, I'll tell you, starting in China, around all the wet markets. So, you know, around what's been going on, and part and parcel to that is what's happening with cats and dogs being reclassified as pets and not meat, so to speak. So I see a lot of things happening in southern China, and I think that that's going to then affect the rest of Asia. So I don't see it specifically, say, starting in Korea. I think that was kind of the question. I think it's going to start in China.
Awesome. Okay, Trump's grandfather, John Trump, was in charge of collecting Nikola Tesla's research papers. Do they still have them?
You know, it's another good question because I've always felt the FBI's got the papers, and what I felt, and I still feel right now, is that the John Trump issue was a ploy to distract. So the FBI has got all the papers, and I do feel there was something very sensitive there, and I think that was a particle beam weapon or something. But the FBI has it. The Trump family does not have it.
Okay.
So
Cool.
yeah.
Okay. Can you tell us anything about the Skinwalker Ranch in Utah?
It's another good one. Good one.
Have you ever been there?
No, but I'd like to go. I'd like to go. You know, I tell you what that is. That's an alien airport. So that is just like the way we view LAX and LaGuardia and JFK. That's an alien airport. Is what I get on.
That's where they come.
And for whatever reason, and this is something that somebody that understands the galaxy better than I do, there's something about that location that makes it easier to orient when you're coming from elsewhere. Something about the location on Earth, but it's an airport. Yeah.
Wow. So are there a lot of sightings there? I don't know much about it.
There are. And you know, I think there's also resources buried there, like I'll call them fuel rods or something, so that they need something to, you know, get back off of Earth. But it's an airport.
Wow.
Yeah.
You guys heard it here first. Okay, why do fireworks go off in so many cities every night?
Yeah, they sure are. A lot of unsettled people. It's being coordinated by social media. So this is something that I think some people have tried to make it sound like it's something very unusual. It's a lot of frustrated people, and it's a social media influenced event around the country.
And they do it just because they can.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Are there any major changes coming to YouTube? My favorite format. I love YouTube.
Yeah. Well, let's put it this way. If Trump had stayed in office, I think that the White House would have gone after YouTube and kind of start to shut down some of the political vlogging going on. But
Like
the
me.
good news is, yeah, the good. Yeah, I think it would have been top on the list. Yeah, in a fun way. But the good news is that since he's going to be out of office, that's not going to happen. So.
Okay, good. Whew, I'm glad I got my YouTube still. Okay, what do you see the future for Facebook? I think you might have discussed this already, but say it again.
Yeah, I feel pretty soundly from what my guys are saying that he's actually, by the end of the year here in the next year, Mark Zuckerberg's going to shift gears. And the reason he's going to actually start a new platform that'll be more driven by selling digital media as opposed to social media. And I think the big reason for that is a lot of the advertisers are going to move off the platform.
Okay.
Too highly controversial. So yeah.
Okay. And how many countries will attempt to help Trump win the presidential election? Will they be held accountable for election meddling?
A two-part question, a good two-part question there. Yeah. So the good news there is, still our good friends, Russia and China, we're going to try to meddle. But what's going to happen now is there's going to be a paper trail in this election of like mail-in ballots. So a lot of the manipulation they could have done would have been electronically for the most part. And they're not going to be able to make that happen. So
They're
the good news,
desperately trying to stop mail-in ballots. And I do see
yeah,
some success, but they're in the red states. The
yeah,
ones you would have won anyway.
right. And it's the electronic voting system meddling that's caused a lot of problems in the past.
Okay.
So they'll be cut off.
And will we find out about it? Will we open that door wide open?
Yes, as a matter of fact, the FBI has got a lot of this information already, but they haven't had the forum to kind of come out publicly and share it. So because of the White House. So
Right, right. So how long will it take for the new administration to overturn all of Trump's executive orders?
The Biden White House is going to hit the ground running. Absolutely. Yeah,
and he will
absolutely.
have an administration. He'll have good people working. Like he's going to say, "Never mind, I'll deal with it." He's letting the whole.
Yeah, and it's interesting. A lot of presidents like to focus on their first 100 days, right? And I feel like a lot of the executive orders will get overturned or challenged in the first 100 days.
Okay.
Because I see Biden saying, "Okay, my first 100 days. Here's the 45 or 50, executive orders that we've challenged or overturned." It'll be like a list. Yeah.
And also I feel, and this is I don't know if you've said the same thing, but I definitely know within 2 years of Biden, they will prove beyond a reasonable doubt that he was in the pockets of a foreign country. And thus everything, he was an unsubstantiated president. They're going to remove all those judges, all of them a lot of those judges, without calling Trump a fake, a lot of those judges will be removed because they have, the last one they just did is under criminal investigation.
Right. No.
So it's like, I see Congress bringing them in, like they're standing in line in there. You're out, you're out, you're out, including Kavanaugh.
Absolutely. Very true.
Okay. Okay. What is going to happen with all the college load debt and with will colleges ever become affordable?
Yeah, the last time that I read on this, I'm getting that now again, is that there's some sort of like there's going to be a tax reform act during the Biden presidency. And so those tax reform acts will bring in more revenue that'll actually be shuttled and funneled to the colleges and universities. So the universities will see more funding that in turn they'll be able to lower tuition rates. And then there's going to be some other accelerated loan programs for students. But it looks like on the student side, it looks like more of that's going to happen the third and fourth year in the Biden presidency. Okay. But in the first,
and they're also going to help student debt. I definitely saw.
Yeah, yeah. But I think the first 1 to 2 years it'll be focused on a tax reform act that'll help bring more revenue into government, and then there'll be more going out to the universities. So.
Right. And the other thing is, the other thing I've been feeling is, they're going to hit the CEOs or the bigwigs that are making too much money in the universities. They're going to hit that. Okay.
All that'll be very public. Mm-hmm.
Yes. Okay. Okay. Do you see any medical advancements regarding arthritis?
Yeah, a lot of that to go around, huh? A lot of people with arthritis.
Yeah.
For me, it looks like there's advancements, what I'll call in blood plasmas. Now, I know they've been experimenting with blood plasmas just to kind of curtail symptoms, but my guides are kind of reinforcing the fact that there's some other advancements coming within a few years here that will actually be able to help turn that disease around or turn it around.
Oh,
so awesome. It looks like it's still focused around blood plasmas for me. But, yeah.
My mom suffered tremendously with rheumatoid arthritis since she was 12.
Okay. And
so it was tough. Okay, are we headed for a civil war in the next few years?
No, and that, it would have been a different story had 45, stayed in the White House. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think if we had imagined what would have happened, I think a few years out from now, we would have really been facing some difficult times.
Really?
Yeah.
even with other countries. After Trump is gone, will the wall in South Texas be removed? It says the wall has prevented some wildlife from getting water.
Yeah, for that, what I see almost immediately is, I'll call it pockets of the wall being taken down, so that, because I know the wall went up in some areas where they cut off lakes and waterways.
Right.
And yeah, so I do see pockets of the wall being taken down, almost like the first year of the Biden presidency. Too much effort to tear it all down, but they'll open it up in certain areas that, yeah, I do see that.
And how are our spiritual guides selected?
Well, that's a good one.
I don't know. I don't know the answer to that.
That's a good one. That's something that happens in the angelic realm. But I'll tell you that guides for me are certainly the ones that hit the ground running for us. They're the workers. So they actually change out as you go through life. So you might have 3 or 4 of them with you at any one time, but it's been my experience that they have specializations. So there may be a guy that's maybe focused on healing or health. Maybe you're going through a cancer treatment. There may be a guide focused on business or finance because you're going through, a new business or whatever that. So they do have specializations. And I think they get traded out with what's going on. Yeah.
Can you give us a update, COVID update? Do you have any update on that?
Yeah. I think you and I have talked about this before, but for me, the big thing there is that I still see in August of this year a worldwide breakthrough in understanding the COVID-19 virus from a remote part of the world. So it's something that comes out as a scientific breakthrough where they say, oh, now we understand what the virus is all about, the blueprint. Then from there, that opens up the door for all the rest of the things to come, which for me is August of next year, widespread availability of a vaccine.
Right.
From 4 manufacturers.
I see a vaccine coming by the end of this year, but I don't know if it's widespread.
Trials. I know trials are going to start by the end of this year into January and February. There'll be trials, but for me, it was like widespread availability of 4 different types. Yeah, by August of next year.
Okay. So, will Governor Greg Abbott be held accountable for opening too soon and not taking the proper measures to protect the public? Who's he governor of?
That's Texas, right? Yeah. For me, that'll be an example of what I'll call what not to do. And I do feel that when he's up for re-election, which is 2022, because he went in 2018, that he'll be swapped out. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, he's going to
become. Will he actually be sued? I see people trying to sue him. That's what I just.
Oh yeah, no, he's going to have a lot of baggage.
Yeah. Is there a creature called Bigfoot, and where does it come from? We got some creative people with some good.
I'll say, everybody gets an A for effort.
I love it because it's not going over the same thing,
Yeah. For me, this is interesting, and I've had this before that it's actually it's an alien form. So it's not an earthbound form, Bigfoot, but it's an alien form that at some time, they've been around thousands of years, but trying to blend in with the animal and the wildlife. So whatever they're doing, they're because they can change their form, right? Some aliens can change form, but they're trying to blend in with wildlife. And so it's an alien form for me. Yeah.
There's a show, I don't know if it's called Paranormal Witness or something, but some guy actually got a film in Canada of the Bigfoot. You can see him, he's brown and he's yelling, and he picks up a tree and throws it a football field length. So they're strong. Okay, who makes crop circles?
That's an easy one. Yeah. That's an easy one. Those are alien friends. But what's interesting is a couple of things there to say. A lot of times the crop circles, they're either warnings or advice or sharing of information. Okay. Now, some scientists, for me, have tried to decode the crop circles, and they're getting closer. So it's a little bit of a universal language. But having said that, there are others that have tried to, I'll call it, play hoaxes on people and recreate crop circles. Okay. So you've got an element of there, but there are real. Yeah, they're real crop circles from our friends.
Is there actually messages in the crop circle?
There are.
Designs messages?
There are, and I think we just haven't got to the point where we've decoded it well enough. Yeah.
Okay, there's a lot of questions in this one. I don't know if we can handle it. Somebody said, do aliens have pets? Do they eat? Do they age? Do they have an emotional bond with family members? There's different groups of aliens.
Yeah. You know, so the simple answer there is they're all very similar in family structure to us. So there are a lot of similarities there with how they love and how they, you know, they interact and pets. Yeah, I mean, a lot of similarities there, but there are many races.
Yeah, that's what I get. Okay, yeah. Will there be an NFL football season this fall?
Like a lot of sports, going to be greatly reduced in like the number of games I see, and not with a lot of fan participation, if at all. So it's going to be kind of a what would you call it? It's a safe way to view sports. But yeah, it won't be like any normal season anybody's ever seen.
It won't get normal again until next year.
Right, right.
Okay, what is the status of our climate? Has the COVID helped improve it?
Yeah, the good thing coming from that is that what I get is that there were certain things that scientists believed were doable in a certain time frame, but now with COVID-19, with a lot of, let's say, a lot less transportation, airline traffic, cars, they've actually been able to set what I call a new baseline for the environment, and they've actually seen that they could accelerate improvement in the environment much faster than they ever thought.
Wow.
So actually what I get is scientists developed a new baseline for what's possible and what kind of a time frame.
Awesome.
So that's a good thing, yeah.
Okay, what will happen as a result of the melting of the polar regions?
They're going to continue to melt and they continue to be a problem, but the rest of the Earth is going through a new equilibrium. And so there's actually, colder areas now around the world. So there's going to be kind of a little bit of a reset there.
Right.
The polar regions aren't going to get restored, but there's going to be a new equilibrium is what they're telling me. So.
Okay. What will happen as a result? Oh, wait, sorry, I just read that. How will Biden do in the states like Texas, Arizona, North Carolina, Ohio, and Georgia?
Well, for me, at that whole list, there's only one that's probably going to stay red for me. It's going to be Texas. Yeah, Texas. It's going to stay red, and all the rest are going to go blue. Yeah, for Biden. Yeah. And by the way, I want to mention real quickly, I still get that when we see all said and done, there's going to be a 15-point lead for Biden over Trump. Yeah. So.
Do you feel? I keep feeling that very night, election night, because they're saying because of the mail-in votes, we probably won't know the winner. I see them calling the winner that night.
Oh yeah, there's going to be a lot of chaos that night.
It won't be on the edge with a lot of places. It'll be a landslide.
Yeah, no, it will be. But you can bet there'll be a lot of screaming from the other side. So, yeah.
Uh-huh. Do you guys have a message for us? Any last message?
Yeah, and I got this for the last week, but it's like really simple again. Stay positive through these difficult times, because it kind of elevates your energy and the energy of those around you. Okay. So very easy to kind of fall off the wagon, so to speak, but
keep
positive.
The faith. Keep the faith. I mean,
Absolutely.
The only reason I'm doing this is because my guide said, "Tell them, they said you will help calm them down. It's not me, it's them." But, I get people who say, "Oh my God, Linda, such and such psychic said," and I appreciate other people's point of view. Well, you're the one that prophesied before I knew you that Trump was going to win. I'm glad I didn't know you because I'd be name calling you. But, there's people are like so freaked out that if they get any news that he's going to win, he's not going to win. I'm telling you. And now, fortunately, with all the chaos, people are starting to feel a little bit more comfortable and saying, I think you're right.
They are. And, going full circle, we talked about Gen Z at the beginning of the talk. And the Gen Z contingent is going to be very helpful as well as getting Biden in office.
Yeah, because I felt the youth had a lot, youth and women.
Right. Absolutely. Yep.
So,
Absolutely.
all right, my friend.
All right.
Great.
All
So
good. Thank you.
we'll connect again this time next week. Bye, you guys.
We will.